Now this part of the face from the upper lip to the bridge of the nose is known as the mask of the face. Now we're going to try to create the whole range of your sound in the confines or within the confines of that mask area. Now in order to facilitate this, we're going to imagine, or you are going to imagine, that you have an upside down inverted triangle in your face. The point of the triangle is on that little V in your upper lip, and the sides of the triangle go back and up until they reach your cheekbones or your eyes, and the wide part of the triangle is across the cheekbones. Now we're going to try to create the whole range of the voice within the confines of that upside down triangle. Now with many singers, the part of the voice that gets lost are the low notes in the range. The tendency is with low notes to swallow them, let them go back into the back of the throat, and they aren't heard as readily as high-pitched sounds, which because of their stronger sound wave, travel much more readily than low notes. So in order to keep the low notes resonating so that they do travel as far as your high notes, we have to imagine in our mind that the low notes are sitting in the point of the triangle. Now I mentioned this a few seconds ago that the point of the triangle is on that little V in your upper lip. We're going to mentally focus our thoughts of the low notes in the V of that triangle. By doing so, we're going to cause the low notes to vibrate on the back of the teeth or the forward part of the roof of the mouth, thereby causing a strong resonance and enabling those low notes to travel as far as the high pitch sounds. So the low notes are the most focused of all the notes that you're going to sing. The middle notes in our range we are going to imagine have moved up and out into the center of the triangle, about on a level with your nostrils, inside or about ½ an inch above the roots of your upper teeth. The middle notes are here, the low notes are there. Now the high notes, since most of the high note is being created by an overtone in the sinus cavities, you are going to imagine that the high note has moved upwards and outwards into the upper part of the triangle. In other words, the high notes are across your cheekbones and as wide as your head. High notes should, if they're sung properly, blossom. Low notes are much more focused than middle or high notes. We don't have to worry about a high note traveling a great distance because the sound wave is so strong that a high note will travel very far. Now you will hear a scream much more readily than you will hear a low-pitched sound such as a moan. So we have to confine our thinking when we sing between the little point in the upper lip and the wide part of the triangle. Now, the low notes can be likened in a way to a laser beam, concentrated light. They're very concentrated. The high notes can be likened to the beam of a searchlight, a wide beam. The high notes are the most open, the most wide, and the most blossomed, the biggest of the notes in your range. It is not necessary to make a lot of sound on low notes because you will never make as much sound on low notes as you will on the middle or high because less breath is being used, first of all, to vibrate the vocal cords, and second of all, to create the note itself. The important thing about a low note is that it has a very a concentration of resonance, we'll say, which causes it to project just as far as your higher notes. So we're going to concentrate the low notes up here in the point of the triangle. We're going to think of the middle notes sitting across the nostrils or the middle of the triangle, and we're going to think of the high notes sitting on top of the triangle.